Hey guys, so today you and I are gonna talk about first full-time job as a software engineer. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, I just started my first full-time job as a software engineer today. Congratulations. Is it normal to feel like you are wildly underqualified for your position? Yes, it's very normal. I would say that I would be very surprised if you didn't, if anybody doesn't feel a little, at the very least, a little bit underqualified when they see their first real code base. Uh, Maybe we should do a poll for that. Just off the bat, I mean, off the bat, guys, put in the comment section how many of you guys felt that the examples in practically all the learning materials that you've studied up until you got onto your first real project, if we're assuming now that you're at a more serious project, how many of you felt that they seem to be toys in comparison to the real thing? Just curious to see how you feel about it. Because I'm pretty sure that for most of us, it's a bit of a cold shower. It really is. You have no idea how much code and like an average sized project, and like I don't even want to talk about the big projects, how vastly complicated it is. It takes years, years and years and years of work to get to a point where you don't really feel anything when you see how much you need to learn, like because you've already learned enough so that even if you don't know exactly everything, you know how to figure it out. The calm that comes with age and experience, it's a long way away. When you start your first job, I can promise you that you're gonna spend years of feeling like you're at the very least a little bit stressed, or that you feel like you don't really know what's going on. You're just trying to kind of figure out how things go. It's gonna get better. I promise you that. It gets better. It helps extra a lot more. It helps a lot if you have coworkers who you can talk to and you feel comfortable around and so forth. That sensation of security is completely priceless when you're on your first job. But it does get better even if you don't have that. But it's gonna take time. It's gonna take a long time. I'm not gonna lie to you. You can completely forget about feeling like you know what the fuck's going on for at the very least the first few months. And that's the thing that is so, I think, weird sometimes when you're dealing with some companies where they hire a junior developer for their first job and they have absolutely no fucking clue how hard it is to understand a code base, and they start expecting results practically immediately because they don't know any better most of the time, or they're senior developers who have forgotten what it means to actually learn how to do this for the very first time, and how much time it actually takes. As I said, like if you are looking to get a junior developer and you're not willing to onboard that person, or you're not willing to invest at like some type of resource in helping them figure things out in the beginning of things, I mean, in my opinion, you shouldn't hire a junior. Then you should try to hire somebody who has been working for at least, and I mean, if we're looking at the job postings, that is what people are looking for, at least 2 years, I would say. 1 year. I mean, even after, you could look for someone with 1 year, but I mean, it's almost borderline. 2 years, it's starting to look better. If you have 5 years, yeah, you can pretty much bet on that person should be fairly solid. They're still gonna need some onboarding. They're still gonna need an introduction, but they're at the very least going to be able to make semi-confident changes to the system. But for a junior on their first job, no fucking way. I can already say to you that they most likely don't even know how to estimate how long something's going to take, because they've never done it before. So what I want you to take away from this is that yes, it is completely normal for you to feel underqualified on your first job. Odds are that you won't be able to even estimate your own work in the beginning of things, and this is why I say that it's very, very useful. I would say probably the most important thing ever, to have senior experiences who understand what it is to go through this next to you, and people that you can talk to and rubber duck with and help you with understanding the things that seem unclear, or the things that you actually don't even know that you need to know. It's I think it's the most important thing that you can do for any junior software developer. And it will take you years to get to a point where you don't feel wildly underqualified. At the very least, it's going to take you months to just learn how to make confident changes to the system without second guessing yourself and things like that. It takes time because software engineering is a complicated thing. It's very rewarding and it's very cool and it's great once you know it, but those skills take a while to acquire because there's so much. There's literally so much to learn and to practice in order to get confident in yourself and in your skills. And once you get to a certain point, even if you haven't done a specific thing, you have done so many other things that are semi, like sort of the same thing, so that you feel like, yeah, I kind of know how this works. I don't know exactly, but I feel confident that I'm going to solve it because you've been doing it so much. It's kind of like, well, if you know how to play basketball, you might feel that, yeah, it's sort of similar to some other sports such as, I don't know, handball, which is a Swedish thing if you didn't know about that, which is, well, it's not exactly the same sort of game, but you should be able to pick up the rules and the differences. And it's the same principle for us software developers. Once you get good enough, it all becomes kind of similar in a way. You get a sixth sense for these sorts of things, which is the experience part. But in the beginning, for sure, you're going to be feeling completely underqualified. And the only comfort I can give you is that it gets better with time, but you have to go through this, and this is the crucible each and every single one of us has to run. And if you stick by it, you're gonna get to be a senior. But the road there is going to be long, and it's going to be tough. Have a great day.